If you own a business now and you're not putting your face to your brand at this age and time, you're way behind.
If you're a creator or you are interested in having a social presence online, definitely the back end is a lot of work.
Today on the show, we'll be speaking to Sarah. She's the founder of Matcha Raye Media. She's a marketing strategist and an influencer.
Hey, give me the money.
Let's say a brand wants to work with you. What's the journey like?
I don't love doing free work. I don't promote doing free work all the time. But again, I think there has to be balance. One, of course, so you can make money, but also why are you doing it for free? As far as working with brands for free, I think that's just kind of a part of every creator's journey, just to at least get your feet wet and be able to build a portfolio to then be able to charge those brands.
What's that one lesson you've learned the hard way in this business? Today on the show, we'll be speaking to Sarah. She's the founder of Matcha Raye Media. She's a marketing strategist and an influencer. She's here to let us into her digital world. Hey, Sarah, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for coming to Founders Outlook. Can you please introduce your company? I mean, Matcha Raye is kind of unique name. And how do you arrive at the name? And what's your company all about?
Yeah. So, like Juliet said, my name is Sarah Silberg. I own Matcha Raye Media, as well as I am a content creator. And I launched my business full time just under a year ago, March 10th, 2025. Wow. So we're really coming up on the 1 year mark quickly. I started an account with my best friend in college at Drexel University. And it was called, at the time, the Slutty Spoon. If you need to cut that name out, that's okay. It has rebranded to the City Spoon since then, obviously. But we were called that for a very long time. It's about food, lifestyle, things to do in Philadelphia and New York. And honestly, just over the years, people had asked me to take on their social media accounts, whether it was somebody who I had done a restaurant review for, or if it was a business that I had promoted, or just, a real estate group needed help with their digital presence. So over the years, people had asked me to do it while I was working as a corporate consultant. I saw that you have a little bit of tech background as well. I worked at Accenture for almost 4 years as a technical project manager. With a little bit of marketing, but kind of was just doing both. And honestly, I was just I want to do this instead. So I started my business, Matcha Raye. And Matcha Raye, the name matcha is my favorite drink. I was not, I didn't hop on the bandwagon, I will say. I would say I'm an OG.
I knew the inspiration came from there when I saw the name and the color. So I'm this must be
I don't like coffee. I'm a big matcha girly. We literally had a matcha Galentine's workshop yesterday that I hosted. Yeah. A huge matcha girl. And my middle name is Raye, R-A-Y-E, like a ray of sunshine. And then media.
Very unique.
Marketing.
Yeah. It's very unique and exciting. And you work full time on social media. So what your company does is you help businesses craft marketing strategy for their brand. Is that all you do?
We do brand, we do marketing, we do content creation, social strategy, email marketing strategy, kind of anything under that's why marketing strategist or marketing specialist is very general. But there's a lot of different areas that myself, I plug into with the clients that I work on.
Okay, nice to know. So right now, social media is, it looks so glamorous from the outside. What's the truth about building brand online that most people don't see?
Definitely. I feel like the biggest thing that people see now, especially I started, we'll call it the City Spoon because that is the name of it now, but I started the City Spoon in 2018. And when I tell you, that account, if you look, don't go back, don't scroll back in the feed to 2018. It is embarrassing now. We probably should archive some things, but we really had an anti-growth strategy. Quite literally, we weren't using hashtags. We weren't using geotags. We weren't tagging anybody. We were just this is something fun. We go out to eat a lot and, sharing it with our friends. It was very, very different than social media now.
Yeah.
And then during COVID, it went from 5,000 to 10,000 followers. Then I went to 20,000 followers and now it just kind of kept growing and growing and growing. Yeah. I feel now when people find me or I meet somebody, they're like, oh my gosh, you have so many followers. As soon as they find out who I really am, I guess my alter ego, my Hannah Montana moment. And people always assume it's an overnight success. I just started. And it kind of just happened. So I feel people kind of forget. If you're a creator or you are interested in the art, and obviously a lot of people are very interested in having a social presence online, then you know the grind. But the amount of free work that I've done, the amount of, long hours I would go to work, do all my stuff for like my full-time job, go home, edit all the things, and then have to go to an event after, and then edit that all together, post. It never ends. And also I think the mental toll sometimes, you just feel like you always, like you said, you always have to be on.
Yeah.
So that is definitely something that I feel like people don't always think about. They think about the big PR packages, getting to go on the brand trips, getting to do, all the really fun stuff. But definitely the back end is a lot of work, a lot of long nights, and not a lot of sleep, right? Unfortunately. Yeah.
So it all started for you from content creating, and now you own a company. So I'm curious, at what point, and you mentioned you did a lot of free work as well for people. At what point did you decide to turn this into a company and make money from it?
So, like I said, over the years, people kind of just asked me to
help with something.
Their social media specifically for them. So I don't think I really planned on this happening. My parents are entrepreneurs. They own the third generation family business, totally different, like in the B2B space.
Different generation.
Yeah. So my dad is like the third generation, like his grandfather and his great grandfather started the company. Yeah. So I had always been around entrepreneurs, and I went to business school. I was like, I feel like I want to start my own business, but I really have no idea like what I would want to do. And I just kind of fell into the social media space, like I guess being a Gen Z millennial cusp.
Yeah.
And I just loved sharing online, and I loved like cultivating community and being able to show people my life, and, whoever was interested would follow along. And that's kind of, I guess, with starting it into a business and making money, it just kind of happened. And then once I started making like money that I was like, oh, I could actually like live off of this.
I see.
I was met with the decision of, do I want to do this full time, or do I want to do it still as like a part-time thing? And I decided to take the leap and just did it.
Great. And if, let's say, a brand wants to work with you, what's the journey like? Maybe I saw your social media handle, I reach out to you. What's the journey like for you, to understand the needs? Because most times companies and brands, they don't even know what they need. They don't know if they need marketing, if they need to influence, if they don't know what they need. What's the journey? How do you find out what the problem is, and how do you help?
Sorry, I just want to make sure I understand. As a content creator, like to create content for a brand, like to be on my channel or from the brands? Oh, okay. As like an influencer. For that, it's a pretty straightforward process, I feel like. Usually I'll get a lot of different companies reaching out to me. We get like hundreds of messages, DMs, emails, form fill-ins every week. I will ask if they have budget, if they're looking to do like a paid opportunity, or if it's more on a, what's it called? What is the word I'm thinking of? If it's on a comp basis where they just provide unpaid, I guess, items for us, and they want us to promote it. It's a mix in the local scene. So for Philly and New York, we typically try to promote small businesses. So you won't really see me working with like a Wonder and being like, this is a free promotion for them. They will have to pay us. That's like a big brand. If it's like a small mom and pop shop, I'm not going to be like, hey, give me the money. Like that's like not what it's like. So it super depends on like the level and the size of the brand itself. If it is a larger brand, I will ask like what their deliverables are, what they're looking for. They typically know when reaching out to a creator, like what they want. They just kind of want to know what the budget end is, as far as like, what do we charge for a reel? What do we charge for a carousel post or an Instagram story set or something like that? And a lot of the time there's like usage rights and exclusivity and all these other like big terms that really just mean you want to stay loyal to the brand and promote them. So once all that's kind of nailed out, usually through email or through their content brief, it's time to make the video. We send it in for review. They approve it or send feedback. Usually it's like 1 or 2 rounds of feedback at most. And then it goes live.
And, looking at your journey is very inspiring. You started just doing things for yourself, and now you're working with brands. Owning a business forces you to kind of face yourself. Something entrepreneurship exposed about you that you had to work on. Like sometimes you do free work for people, which is not ideal for a business because you need to sustain a business, right? So what's that one thing it forces you to work on and force yourself to do to sustain the business?
Yeah. I think in some ways we all have to earn our keep, right? Like, especially when you're starting out. So definitely, don't get me wrong, I still do free work to this day. I don't like love doing free work. I don't promote doing free work all the time. But again, it's back to that mom and pop business. I'm not going to like screw them just for a video, you know, especially if it's something that I want to try out. But I think there has to be balance. One, of course, so you can make money, but also, why are you doing it for free? Because if it doesn't mean anything to me, if I'm like, okay, this Joe Schmo reached out for me to promote his business and he wants to leverage my audience to promote himself and he's not going to pay me anything. If I don't really care about the mission, if I don't really care about the company, then it's not really adding any value to me or really him, because I'm promoting something I don't stand behind, right? So I feel like and look, no one's perfect. I've definitely taken deals. I've definitely promoted places where I'm like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But I try to be as authentic and true to myself now, and have always tried to at least emulate that in the content that I do take on. For clients where I run their brands marketing, that is not free. I do not charge for that. There's different levels of packages and different levels of services that I offer that have different rates for each of them. For example, like someone could just want content creation. So I go in, do a shoot day once a month with them, and then provide some raw footage for them, as well as completed videos for them to put on their account. There's some people who, most businesses want like full scale management, where I just do everything from analytics to creating the content to posting the content to just reporting back to them like how things are doing. And we also do the shoot day. So it really depends. But as far as like working with brands for free, I think that's just kind of a part of every creator's journey, just to at least get your feet wet and be able to build a portfolio to then be able to charge those brands. In the end.
Okay. So in the social media world today, people confuse influencing and influence. How, in your own terms, how do you describe both and how are they different?
That's a really good question. So influencing definitely has a bad rep. And I feel like most of the time, not most of the time, I'll say sometimes I get it.
Yeah.
Influencing is if you're just promoting a product to get the money, right? When it's not authentic to your brand, when it's very clearly and you're just putting it out because either your team or, you know, I'm going to say 95% of the time it's because the money makes sense for you.
Of course.
Influencing is definitely when you're just trying to like get money out of this industry, which is so fair. And I don't knock anyone. Like TikTok Shop is an amazing example of influencing. That's getting people to promote the product for free. Be like, this is why you need this. It like changed my life. It will change yours. And they get commission off of all of those sales, right? And they make a lot of money for TikTok, and that's awesome and wonderful. Do I trust a word that comes out of most of those people's mouths?
So they are called influencers, right?
They're influencing. And having influence is very different. Having influence is being able to really command a space and cultivate a community that believes not only in what you're doing, but like how it can improve their lives as well. Not everything is motivational. Not everything is like self-help or improvement or anything like that. But I think having people ride for you and be just so like infatuated with either how you live your life, what you do, your job, just your POV is what differentiates influence versus influencing.
Yeah.
Obviously, I lean more on the side of having influence versus being an influencer.
Yeah, that was my next question. I would be like, how do you place yourself? Will you say you're influencing or you show influence in your work ethics?
If I could not sell any products at all ever, it would that is just like, it makes you feel like a sellout. I don't know. And like, again, I don't judge anyone for which side you choose to be on.
They follow,
Exactly. So even like I've started doing community events in Philadelphia that have...
I noticed you have a coffee event on your website. Yeah, that's so nice.
Yes, for Matcha Raye. So I do a Caffeinate and Connect event like once a month. We just get a group of creative like freelancers, entrepreneurs, and work from home folk together, exchange ideas, get to meet each other. It's really, honestly, just fills my cup so much. And then for the City Spoon, I also do, it's a supper club. So once a month we go out to dinner, to 20 of us, where we go, again, same kind of thing, just trying to cultivate community, networking, and just like building up your people. I'm 28 years old, so after college, making new friends is so challenging. And I wanted to be able to create a space for people to do that without pressure. Honestly, beyond sending out the invites and, doing a quick introduction, I don't usually talk that much to like the whole group of people. Usually everyone knows what they're signing up for when they say they want to come to these things. It's like to make friends and meet new people and meet new colleagues, hopefully, and, grow their network. It's amazing just being able to be the person to create the space. And I think that shows the level of influence, because I really, beyond posting about it and, maybe doing a TikTok or two, I really don't do very much for them. And like, I guess setting up a reservation, right? But people show up. We sell out every event for the City Spoon, and a lot of people will have shown up for the, what are they called? Caffeinate and Connect sessions that we've had too. So like, that's really awesome to see it like in real life, Yeah.
I'm glad you're building some connections right now. Just like you said, after college, it's very difficult to have unique connections and people that have your values and ideals. So I'm happy about that. So a lot of people want to show up online. I think basically if you own a business now and you're not putting your face to it, to your brand, at this age and time, you're way behind. So, but the struggle with confidence, did confidence come naturally to you, or was it built over time?
Okay. I also just want to say you're an amazing interviewer. Your questions are so like awesome. I love them. So just wanted to say
I'm
that.
glad you like that.
Just so well spoken. I love it.
Yeah.
My confidence, I feel like, lucky for me, has kind of always been a thing. I have the most supportive parents and younger sister in like the whole world. Nice. I'm not gonna lie, my ego, it definitely can be a little bit big sometimes, which is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
But I was a competitive swimmer from
nice
all elementary school, middle, high school. I went to States for the sport, and then I rowed in college for a Division I team. And I placed a lot of value on how I did in those sports, and being at that like elite competitor level. I think it just kind of being able to prove that to myself. Look, I'm never going to run a marathon. That is not my vibe. That is not something that I need to like prove to myself that like I'm capable. But I think just being in sports and needing to be my own cheerleader, in addition to having just an amazing support system and great friends, I feel like I've just always innately had a level of confidence. And it's definitely, as soon as I have built a community that like also supports me, definitely helps that as well.
So, what advice do you have for people who are still struggling with this to start putting themselves out there? What's that one advice will you give them?
Definitely. I'm not confident in every aspect of my life. Don't get me wrong.
They're
like, as far as showing up and being able to set up a camera and do something silly, sure, I'm down. But definitely there are areas that like, we're all growing in and working through and trying to put forth the best version of ourselves. I think I've heard this so many times too. I'm a big self-help, personal growth girly. I've heard a lot online that people are just saying people are scared of failure. And I think that when you're showing up for yourself and you're at least trying, it does a lot more than just not doing anything at all. Even though it feels embarrassing, even though it feels silly. People always ask me if I was embarrassed of starting an account. I never felt embarrassed because I really just never thought that much about it. It's like people on the other side of a screen. And if you know me and you have a problem with it, then talk to me. Otherwise, I don't need to hear it. You don't exist, I think the worst thing that can come from building a social media platform, as long as you do it with good intentions and are generally a good person, is positive.
Yeah.
The hardest thing to do is get started. And the first step is like, doing it.
Yeah,
so
the first step. Yeah.
The first step is just doing it one foot in front of the other until you're running,
Yeah, I think it applies to everyone. You said it here that if you scroll down to your past video, you will be surprised how much growth you've
Yes.
Same for me,
2018
right?
was a scary time.
Yes.
Saturation. Whoo. Yeah.
Over time, it kind of gets better. And, social media never sleeps. I think I mentioned this, but it was off camera. How do you protect your mental health? How do you, turn off and give yourself some time to relax? Because there is no time off on building digital brand. You're always online. You always want to post something, scroll. So how do you protect your mental health while building a digital brand?
That's a great question. Something I definitely need to get better at, for sure. Personally, in my life right now, I'm just going through a lot of different changes, and building my business, like I said, it's only been just under a year, as well as my own brand and then my company's brands that I like support. So I have a morning routine. I'm working on getting an evening routine where I don't scroll before going to bed. We're not there yet, but we're working on it.
Nice. Yeah.
But in the morning, I usually get up around like 6 to 7. And I go to the gym and then make breakfast, do the whole thing. I journal and I try to listen to, I just started doing this and I love it. Not morning affirmations, but morning rampages. Abraham Hicks, like that one's my favorite one. And it just like floods your brain with all the good things that you want to hear throughout the day and like just how to handle the day that's coming your way. It just kind of like puts me in a great headspace for the day and reminds you that like it's okay to take a couple hours for myself because there's 24 hours in a day. 2 hours are not going to make or break anything to pour back into myself. So I listen to that while I go to the gym and do like my regular morning routine. And then I try to log on between 10 to 11 every day. So being consistent with like those time blocks and not getting like too hung up or hard on myself. If I take an extra 15 minutes, if I am able to log on early, like that's amazing. I think that's like the best thing that I've been able to do. To protect my peace.
I'm glad you're working on that because it can be overwhelming, being on social media all day. And, you said you're just 1 year in this business. What does scaling mean for Matcha Raye? I mean, what does growth look like for you? Let's say in the next 3 years, we are looking at your company. What does growth look like for you?
we're going to talk a little bit sooner and then we'll talk in 3 years.
Okay. I love that.
Immediately, I'm hiring probably an account manager to handle a few of my legacy accounts to take off some of that like creative mental load, as well as allow me the space to be able to be more strategic and planning focused. I was just saying to my mom the other day, I feel like in group projects for school, there's always a organizer and a mobilizer and then the support and execution team. And I feel like I am a really great organizer and mobilizer. Like I get the people to do the things and get excited about the projects. I can do the execution, but I really want to have a team to be able to do a lot more of the execution work because I just love having the ideas and then seeing it come to life. So I would love to have in a team, short term, a team or two of account managers and then an assistant, as well as in 3 years from now, hopefully that would grow to be more like 5 to 10 people. And revenue wise, don't need to get too much into the numbers on that, but would love to be able to support a team like that. I think that would be really incredible.
Yeah, I'm glad you're thinking ahead, turning into entrepreneurship. This will buy you time to do more of the critical thinking and, allow people to do the minor tasks while you, think of how to grow your business strategically. That's nice.
Definitely.
So what's that one lesson you've learned the hard way in this business? And do you have any advice for founders or creators? Or someone who is watching and want to do something similar? Do you have that one advice? And what's the lesson you've learned the hard way? It's 2 parts in one. Sorry about that.
No problem. It's okay. I actually am going to do a series about this on Matcha Raye. So if you follow along, you'll see it at some point. How to start a business, because I knew what I was doing enough. Just like, again, like watching my parents growing up, they have been supportive. They don't do anything like what I do. So, they're as helpful as they can be. And they're like, you're doing great. They're like amazing cheerleaders. But building this business from the ground up is really like what I have been able to accomplish, which is awesome. I wish earlier on, though, I had a system in place, which I think is something that a lot of people struggle with. And I knew that I needed a system in place and would be so hard on myself for not having a system in place that it would cause so much stress for me in the beginning. The first 8 months of this, which, as you can calculate, was like literally up to 4 months ago, I was like, did I make the right decision? Like, this is like so hard. I don't know if I like it. Oh, it was just so overwhelming. And so much pressure that I put on myself. I always knew I was going to be successful. I always knew that there was going to be clients and fun things to do and work to be done. But it just felt so all-consuming for the longest time. So I would say enjoy the journey and be very kind to yourself, because I definitely was not always like that. And I still am. It's something I'm working on. I do have a system now for onboarding that is amazing and like sets me and my clients up for great success. And I've seen just like the difference in how I approach every day and how I'm able to be more calm and present, versus thinking about like the 100,000 things that are on my to-do list, like every founder has. But yeah, I would definitely say there are important things that have to be done, and there are things that aren't as important that have to be done. And you need to make sure that you prioritize and allow yourself to enjoy the journey as well and not get so caught up in the semantics of it all. Because I definitely, the first handful of months, did that.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. So if someone wants to get in touch with you, for a business, what's the best way to reach out to you and get in touch with you?
Definitely. So as far as content creation, influencing, any of that type of stuff for the food and bev industry, and lifestyle, The City Spoon, it's on Instagram, TikTok, and the email is thecityspooncollabs@gmail.com. And then for marketing services, so content creation, social media management, influencer marketing, all the fun things with that, Matcha Raye Media @gmail.com.
Nice. And is there anything about your business you would like to talk about I've not asked you? You would like to share?
Honestly, I'm just really excited now, to be honest. I'm in such a great point in my life that I really feel so overwhelmed with joy and excitement for what's going to happen in the next year.
Yeah.
Like I said, a lot of personal things have shifted in my life that have opened up the doors really for really exciting things happening. We have a really amazing brand partnership next month that I'm so excited about. I'll be working with TaskRabbit to help me with this move. So that's really cool.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, everything happens in divine timing, and I truly believe in that now from building this business from the ground up in this past year, and I just can't wait to see where it takes me.
Nice. Thank you, Sarah, for, joining us on Founders Outlook. We are definitely keeping an eye on you. You said you're going to drop some series, and we'll also keep an eye on you and watch your growth. We're happy you joined us today, and thank you for sharing.
Of course, thank you for having me.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Hi, guys. Remember to subscribe, like, and share, and do follow us on all social media platforms. See you on the next one. Bye.